This is Goku's son, DBZ, and welcome back for the second ever Game Pass review of course, my new series, Game Pass Reviews, where I review strictly games that are on Xbox Game Pass. So, this is more or less a review series for more, of course, Xbox and PC gamers. So with that said, originally Void Bastards was second, but I decided since recently I've been having the urge to replay original Fable. Since it's on Game Pass, what the hell? Let's do a Game Pass review on Fable, The Lost Chapters, aka, though of course I have physical as well. Fable Anniversary. This is the review for. Now, just so no, I've actually never played before this Fable The Lost Chapters, aka Fable Anniversary. But with that said, I've only played original Fable, so, and I'm still playing through the game, just so you know, but I played completely through the original, and I know the basic, of course, overall storyline. With that said, Fable, of course, is the pet project of course, a game developer gentleman that can never seem to keep his mouth shut, given empty promises. That being Peter Molyneux, of course. And I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Peter Molyneux. But anyways, of course, the creator of the Fable series originally talked about that a seed would start and over the progression of the game would grow into a tree and everything, but that's backstory. Anyways, Peter Molyneux, the more or less one responsible for creating the Fable franchise, along with, of course, his development company, Lionshead, which unfortunately is not around still. You basically start out as this, of course, young boy, obviously, in a small village, Oakville, and you end up having to do some deeds, good deeds, in order to get gold pieces in order to buy chocolates for your sister's birthday, basically is how it starts. Needless to say, things like many fantasy, fairy tale-esque type stories, the place gets overrun, burned down, destroyed by bandits. You find out your sister is, of course, alive somewhat time into the game. You learn this through, of course, one of your teachers, Maze, which is one of the higher-ups, of course, in the guild. As well as you have the head master, which is the one who hands you and gives you off objects, aka, of course, missions/side quests. And some of the side quests are stupid and dumb, but other side quests can actually be very rewarding. That's one thing you should know about the Fable series. Always play the side quests, because it can occasionally reward you greatly. One simple side quest I did, I don't consider really important, but basically, along the way, I ended up gaining like 3 resurrection potions for that. Now, you can hold, of course, up to 9 resurrection potions, so basically 9 lives. Kind of like a cat, I guess you could say. With that said, it's a fun game overall, of course. Basic, good, evil type of system for good deeds and bad deeds, and certain choices in the game can play out different elements specifically differently. You also have factors, of course, like doing good deeds or bad deeds will affect your overall appearance. Do bad deeds, you end up with red glowing eyes like a red mist coming up the ground around you, and like flies or something flying around, and of course horns, obviously. Then you have your good side, which has like butterflies flying around your head. Of course, you have a halo, and you end up with like light blue eyes and like white hair. So, That's some ways the differences, obviously. If you do bad deeds, of course, also, you may end up with different names, such as Deathbringer, or, of course, do good deeds throughout the entire game stuff, you get rewarded with a name like Paladin. So with that said, of course, one of the big things in the Fable series, besides specifically along the way, of course, you have one, like many decent RPGs, a main antagonist, but it's not towards about middle of the game that you really are introduced to the main antagonist, which is the one really responsible for basically the bandits destroying Oakvale and everything. Of course, that being Jack of Blades, which of course obviously has a awesome looking mask I love. I feel like for some reason it feels sometimes like I find it interesting though how the anniversary versus the original version, the voice of Jack of Blades is different. He sounded less evil and menacing in the original version of the game on Xbox One. I mean, our original Xbox. Yeah, Xbox One, OG Xbox. But, and then for some reason, the anniversary, they decided to go with a deeper, darker voice for Jack of Blades. I can't figure out why they decided to go with a different voice for Jack of Blades. I guess they felt they wanted him to sound more menacing. I didn't mind the other though, but nevertheless, I mean, Fable as a game overall is a lot of fun. Some people view it, of course, as a vanilla RPG with a just a system that you can end up good or bad, whatever, like that basically. Yes, it's a very, very linear RPG. But guess what? I'm somebody who actually really appreciates linear games. I've said it once in past videos, I'll say it again. I love linear games. I don't know why they get so much hate. That's one of the few areas I probably tend to agree somewhat of the time more with Yahtzee on. Is the fact he doesn't hate linear games like a lot of people do, though he appreciates good experiences, such as myself. Now, I think I appreciate Fable a lot more than he does, obviously, given some of his opinions, though I think it has more to do, he has, for some reason, a deep distaste for Peter Molyneux. Hard to say, but for me, I've always loved the Fable franchise, and Fable series has always been one of my top 10 favorite game franchises of all time. A lot of people would say that's a little too simplistic of a RPG experience. Maybe, but for me, I still overall I love the some of the really bad voice dialogue, especially some of the over the top voice acting work in the game. I sometimes will just bawl out laughing at how bad some of the voices and stuff are, but I feel that's kind of just a element I really enjoy about the game. That's one of the things I always loved about the Fable series, that it doesn't take itself so seriously, unlike some RPG games out there. I think take themselves a little too seriously. Um, Even though it's really good, one that comes to mind is Diablo takes itself, I think, sometimes a little serious, too serious perhaps. But that's one of the things I like about. Plus, I'm a big fan of movies such as Monty Python: The Holy Grail, which is probably one of the reasons I love the Fable series so much. Because I love certain elements of it. Reminds me of Monty Python: The Holy Grail, just because of stupid over-the-top stuff. With that said, overall, it's a really fun game. I like the enemies, and overall, I don't mind the combat system. It's a lot clunkier than, say, Fable 3, but I love the variety of magic abilities, and specifically, I like the fact that you have two more abilities in the Lost Chapters version of the game. One being like Divine Wrath, and I forget what the other is called. Basically, they're both the same attack, more or less. It's just one is like an evil version, and one is a good version. One is like bright white light with like lightning and stuff, blue light, and the other one is like really dark red light or fire, whatever. It's a fun ability. I personally like it. Of course, my all-time favorite spell is probably Lightning, and always has been throughout the series. I've always loved. There's just something so satisfying about electrocuting people with your shooting lightning out of your hand. Though I am also quite enjoy using bow and arrow and stuff for long distance on bandits and stuff. I've always been that way. But for the most part, I'll get ready to cut this video. Now, on a rating scale, yes, I'm a little biased because I played the original version of the game when it very first came out, like 2005, I think it was, something like that. It's like 14 years ago. So yes, it has a little bit of a bias for me. And I've always loved the series. But overall, I give Fable, and I like a lot of the improvements graphically speaking on Fable Anniversary, aka / Lost Chapters. I like the HD, and I like that there's a lot more in-depth detail on a lot of stuff, and they make stuff seem a little bit larger, like the Hob Caves is one place. Plus, also you have like an extra place you can access, like in Darkwood Forest. I like that a lot. And though I don't dig the redesign they did with the face and stuff, for some reason the Balverines, they made it look completely different than originally Balverines looked. Heck, they kept the original Balverine look through Fable 3, yet for some reason Anniversary chose a different redesign on the face of the Balverines. I'll never understand why. But with that said, on my, of course, grade scale, I give Fable Anniversary A plus. So I give it a very high score. Like I said, somewhat biased. That's why it's going to get a larger score, because of the good memories I have. I've played beginning to end Fable probably about a good 7 or 8 times. I've done a full playthroughs of the game. And right now I am, of course, been recording and slowly uploading some clips of my playthrough, which I'm almost at the end right now of the game, but there's so many clips I've recorded of gameplay, it's going to take a while to get them all uploaded on my YouTube channel. So with that said, like I said, A+, stay tuned in the future. If you want me ever in the future to do a review on Fable 2 or Fable 3, any of the other Fable games in the series, I have no problem with it. And they're on Game Pass, so they qualify for Game Pass reviews. If you want me to review any of the Halo games, which are on Game Pass as well, I'd be more than glad to review any of the Halo games as well. So with that said, I'll see everyone next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel. Stay tuned for an unboxing video vlog I have coming up, most likely today on Monday, because I just got a little package from Tokyo, Japan. So, see you next time, and you can see what it is I got in the mail. See you next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.